So we started back in 1995. We originally started supporting a big multinational print company, so we were looking after them nationwide in the UK. Print strategy started with myself and Rob in a barn in the countryside in Worcestershire. When we started, we really simple business at that time. We literally employed 2 telesales people. We're calling through a phone directory. There was only a team of 4 of us. There was myself and Rob and two ladies that were working for us. We had 1 computer, which could literally just do spreadsheets. So I was fairly happy.
We also had a fax machine.
Yeah, well, yes. No internet. Fax machine was what we pretty much ran the business through. Fax machine, couriers, and post.
Sorry, do you remember that the filing used to be done in the pig troughs downstairs?
Yeah. It was literally, when we say it is literally a converted barn. So the upstairs was converted in. When we say converted, not converted that well in winter. It's pretty cold. It was a converted barn in the middle of nowhere. But in fairness, it gave us sort of a good grounding. It gave us a base. Obviously now we moved over to Droitwich about 15 years ago, I think now, 16 years ago. Obviously much bigger team, far more technology. And also we've got a London office now as well. So yeah, from a little barn in the middle of Worcestershire to London, and a few little traumas along the way. Yeah,
absolutely. Where we cut our teeth, really, believe it or not, was the bingo industry. It was we used to go. We did 1 bingo club, but at one point we were doing about 50 around the northwest, and they used to do loads of printing, all fast turnaround stuff. They'd put you through. So we go around the country with some touch lamps or kids' alarm clocks or cuddly toys or something like that. Whatever that club was giving away, we'd have to photograph them, get those images put onto the cards. Bearing in mind these weren't digital; they had to be scanned. We'd put those images onto the cards, get them printed and get them delivered there for the next week. So we were just constantly doing this cycle of bingo clubs, but they were so unorganised. We really had to find out how quickly things could be turned around, much faster than what the industry was asking for at the time. And we cut our teeth on it. Unfortunately for bingo, it all died when the smoking ban came in, so people stopped going. But at the time, it was real big business. A lot of people were falling over themselves to try and get it, and we cut our teeth a lot on that. But one of the first jobs that came into us just before we started was, again, this is where we learned to cut our teeth, but it was Euro 96. So that the company we were doing the printing for got the contract for Euro 96, and everything had to be co-branded up as Euro 96 at the time. So that was actually one of the first jobs we got involved with, which was obviously really exciting to be a very small part of, but it was really exciting. So, and again, that was... In
fairness, they went on to win the organisation of the London 2012 Olympics as well, didn't they? So we did some stuff there for the proposal to help them win the work for the London 2012.
Yeah, so we got involved with the bidding process for that in terms of presentation of it and stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, really, offline marketing is all marketing that isn't online. So it kind of speaks for itself. I mean, to highlight the main areas that we specialise in, it would be kind of direct mail, partial address mail, door drops, inserts, and programmatic mail. Those are the main areas, but there is a lot more. There's radio, there's banners, posters, various different things. But those are the core elements that we try and focus on.
I think there's the way I was thinking of it is we specialise in helping clients increase their sales by getting marketing into people's homes. So where the online space is, okay, it's in their homes because it's electronic, or you can have a billboard or TV, so that could be argued that it's in your home, but actually physically getting physical stuff into someone's home to help either a sale or to win a customer or to win whatever. It could be brand awareness in some cases for door drops. But it's very much about getting something into someone's home is probably the area we specialise in, I'd say now.
Yeah, I agree.
It's there's getting new customers and there's customer reactivation as well. Those are the two main things that certainly with direct mail, they seem to be the strongest things. So yeah, I think the thing about offline that's really exciting is that it's so measurable. So if you send that money out and you put the code on it, you've generated that business directly. So it's not about click-throughs, it's not about brand awareness, it's not about all the other marketing terms. This is kind of results-based. And that's what we've always been. We've always been results-based. I've always been a salesperson. I've always liked to sell, whether it's for me or whether it's for a client. So it's real results-based marketing. I think that's why we all like it.
Obviously, it's so much noise in the online space at the moment, so it's really relevant to be able to drive traffic either to your retail store or to your website, which is more and more common. So much competition in that area that pay-per-click is becoming so expensive. You can track how you're doing, but getting results, it's costing more and more. The other things around post, as we were just saying, stuff getting into people's homes, it hangs around a long time. So I think the average is between 7 and 8 days it stays in someone's home, and it doesn't just sit on a cupboard and then get thrown away. People are interacting with it quite often 5-6 times within that time.
I think and like now, as in literally now, everyone's at home more. So the stuff you get into the home, people got more chance to look at. People will pick it up, they'll pass it around. And there will be people working from home a lot more. It will become, not everyone's going to go into the office every single day. So you've got more and less people are going to go into big supermarkets. They're going to do order online. So kind of the chance for people to sit and look at your products or learn about you, it couldn't be better. It's an ideal time for offline marketing.
Yeah, and even more so with it's a plug for Royal Mail, but in postage and door drop incentives at the moment are so good. Royal Mail are backing it up for that, so it's sort of even more relevant. I suppose one of the old fashioned thing is it's trusted. It's trusted and it works as well, so that's why it's relevant now, but it's why it's been relevant for a long time. So it's to me that's the part. It's when it turns up, it's from a brand you expect, it's on brand, and it's targeted right, so it's a product or service that you might want. It stays in your home. It's like having a constant little salesperson there, just chipping away during the week, which is really good.
Yeah. As long as you make it something that someone wants to pick up and put back down and look at it and pass it on, as long as it's something that's relevant and good, then it's good. There's a huge part of our population are over 50 as well, and they're very prime for direct mail. They've got time to read it. They'll look through it. They'll look at different offers, and it's kind of it's a really exciting time.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of why it's relevant now in particular, just to sort of touch on, I do think the GDPR regulations coming in made a huge difference to offline. It kind of made it harder to advertise as an online avenue directly to customers, where all of a sudden offline was this sort of easier way to do it, I suppose. So that's definitely had a big impact in the last couple of years as to why more people do direct mail now, just because of that legality of getting in touch with people. I would also say it's more avenues than ever before. When we first started doing offline, it pretty much was just direct mail we really focused on, whereas now 6, 7, 8, 9 different avenues probably, all better than they ever were before. And then the other element, I think Rob touched on it before, was getting rid of the unknown, basically. It used to very much just be sending something out in the post and hoping that it worked well, and you might sort of try and, if you're fortunate, marry it up with a spike. Whereas now with the matchbacks, you know exactly what you've got as a result of what you spend, which is a huge incentive. QR code tracking to make sure people have gone through to your websites. And the other thing was the JIC mail. I thought it was worth mentioning. For the first time ever, it's more relevant because we can actually compare it to online advertising in terms of statistics, like how long it's been in your household, how many people have looked at it, how many times people have gone back to that same piece. So that's why I'd say it's more relevant now, because it's seen as sort of marketing as a whole rather than just offline.
The opportunities that are out there and the fact that you can get the stuff into the home better than ever before. It's kind of everything's so results based, as Paul's saying there, but everything's tracked, everything's monitored. You cannot fail but improve on things as well. So you get yourself out there. There's ways you can improve the next one. There's ways you can improve the next one. And when I say improve, I mean get better results in, rather than, yes, you can make it look nicer. Yes, you can put your test to be on brand, but you can always be A/B testing. You can really improve it, and there's loads of resources around that now. It's a really exciting time to, it's where you sat now. Great. When in 12 months' time, it will be better. You'll be getting better results. It will work that way, and that's quite an exciting place to be.
It's that, to me, it's just the results you can get. And it's always ever improving. I think it's what Paul already touched on it, another one, but Gmail as well, that we're actually now able to say, what a campaign reach would be. So, if you made out 100,000 items, until Gmail, you probably wouldn't know that around 450,000 to 500,000 people will probably, that'll be the item reach. It's quite big. And when you're comparing with impressions and the online space, it's quite useful to know that you're timesing what you're sending out by pretty much on average, say by about 5.
Huge. From a brand perspective, it's massive. Yeah,
it's a big thing, and it helps. And in fairness, we speak to a lot of people who have been brought up very much in the online space, and it's almost been able to talk in their language, which is really, really useful for them as well.
Profiling's really, profiling's a real big thing as well. Again, profiling of your customers to identify more similar companies, similar demographics. There's stuff that's available on that now. The details you can get, it's all GDPR compliant, so you're not doing anything you shouldn't be doing. But it's it makes it much easier to get a response because you're going out to the people who are like your customers. But you can, there's home mover data, so if someone's moved house in the last 6 months, you can send them something. Each data company we work with, have got additional filters. So if you just wanted to target somebody within a much smaller age range, then you can do that rather than like the broad mosaic profiling ranges that you've got. It's literally your data, and then on top of that, you've got transactional data, so you can buy it off people who are buying products around your sort of price point. So you've done the profiling, then you can find out if they're active in the market buying things at your price point. Then it's more likely they're going to buy yours. So that's how much detail you can go to. And again, it's the profiling that's available really, means you get more for your money, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes a massive difference. I was just on from my perspective in terms of what I'm most sort of excited about, and touching on what Phil's point was with the Gmail results. Things like that are going to massively change who we send pieces to. So, for example, Phil just there gave some stats about how many times it's viewed, who's viewed it, and so on. But through those stats, for example, we can see that the younger generation are just as likely to interact with direct mail pieces as the older generation who are currently bombarded with DM, whereas that younger generation aren't receiving as many. In some cases, the statistics in terms of their likelihood to buy are even higher. We didn't understand that before, nobody did, whereas now we do. So that is definitely going to make a huge difference as to how people use offline to get in touch with people. It opens up a brand new market. So that's pretty exciting because it opens up a massive proportion of the country that just aren't even being approached in that way at the moment. And again, similar thing, it links online with offline better than ever before. For us, the key sort of thing to grow our business and the avenue we use is people not seeing either online or offline, people understanding the whole point is them sort of being intertwined really and working together. And that the more that happens, the better for us and for our customers.
I'm boring with this, but plan ahead. I'm boring with most things in fairness, but plan ahead.
So I was going to say the quickest answer is use print strategy. That's the
question.
Are
we allowed to play that?
Yeah. But genuinely, if by planning ahead, you're cutting out waste. You can plan who you're targeting to, so you cut waste from there. You can be a bit more creative with how you're doing it. You set in place how you're going to monitor the success of a campaign. There's so many bits you can do, and we do see it with some marketing teams where it's almost like we always send something this time of year, so we'll just get it out there quickly, and we'll probably copy what we did before. There's so much more you can do. So saving money, you'll save a lot of money by targeting right. That's one big part. It might be the size of something, reducing the size of something by 10 millimeters might save you money because it's more efficient on a machine. Buying postage in the right way, all these sort of things will save you money. The best way is to sort of say, look, this is the outcome we're looking to achieve, and then speak to, ideally PSE or the agency you're working with, and speak to them early on and get their input and to make them part of the process.
There's direct savings as well now, which are Royal Mail incentives. They'll do cheaper postage for partially addressed mail, as well as cheaper data. Partially addressed data, you can buy 1 million records for £3,000. It's literally as lower cost as you can get, and it's still profiled. So you're still only targeting the people that are important. So there's some actual kind of bullet points of these are actual savings that are tangible. So you can literally take them off your costs now if you're applying them. And that's on top of that, if you plan things properly and listen to somebody who knows what they're talking about in terms of print planning and campaign planning, then you'll be getting a much lower cost, but your results will be going up, and that's your better ROI.
Yeah, and that brings up to one bit. Marketing, it should always be an investment as well. It's so often it's looked at as a cost, and I get it's a cost because you receive an invoice and you have to pay for it, but ultimately marketing should be generating a profit. If it's not generating a profit and it's not achieving what you're looking to do, it's not marketing really, it's just an expense. So you again, this is why speaking to the right agency will look at it that way, and you'll be looking to get you a return, not just looking to spend your budget.
Yeah, if you're spending £1, you should be making £1.50.
Yeah,
you know, it's simple. This number is as simple as that. It's a more of an investment perhaps than online because you have to buy more up front, but you should still be getting for every pound you spend £1.50, £2. We've got instances where it's £4, so it's kind of, but it does just need to be an investment. But that's getting your result. If it's not working, turn it off. Otherwise, it's a cost. But if
it's working,
it's not working, let's change it, let's fix it. If it's not working, but it should always be generating you money.
Yeah,
that's right. I don't think I've got a lot to add to that really. What Rob and Phil said is exactly what I would think. My key one element, which is really hard because there's so many things you want to say, is just view your campaign holistically. Just make sure that you've joined all the dots effectively. So if, for example, if your data isn't cleansed, you're going to be sending it to loads more people than you need to, which is a waste of money. And also, you're not going to get the postage incentives. So just doing that one area when it comes to data sourcing will make your postage cheaper, which will make your print cheaper, and so on. So it's more a case of just connecting all the dots, really. And
it's also environmentally as well. I know that's not the question, but send it to who has actually got an interest and could buy. You're not wasting postage, so you're not adding to carbon footprint. It's a much more efficient way of doing things.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be, and it still is in some cases, the best way of doing it, where you'd set a campaign. So you go, right, we've got a Christmas campaign. You'd start planning it 10 weeks in advance. You get the artwork done. You'd get all your base start run, personalised, and it would be a very long process. And so if something changed within that, it would be quite hard to stop it. So it's like the old cruise ship where it's quite hard to turn it once it's in full power. It isn't like that now. There's a lot more personalisation stuff that's available further down the process, and taking it to the sort of extreme level is programmatic or trigger mailings, where an action on your website can actually trigger a printed item going out that day. So it'll be on the person who's triggered its doorstep within 48 hours. It's fully personalised. It can include their journey, a specific offer based on the products they were browsing. You can also use it for things like their birthdays or anniversary of when they made their first purchase off you, or anything that was sort of a lifetime event. It's very hard for marketing teams to get that up and running quite often because it's so specific to specific days, but this allows you to do that. So you're never going to be exactly as quick as online because online is instant. But to me, you now can react to things very, very quickly where stuff's sent out same day. But then you've got the advantages of the trusted media that turns up and it's in the home for over a week and it's going to be interacted with. It's also done very cost effectively in that way. So to me, it's in with the times now. It's it's an ideal way of driving stuff to your site to get the orders or to your store. But the days of you had to have a plan 12 months in advance and it was scheduled all out, it's gone. People can be far more flexible. I think a lot of it's the personalisation part of it, because you can personalise far more at the end of it. If you're deciding what offer code or what data segment to send something to, you can personalise that at the end, so you can have your stuff pre-done, and then you just personalise little bits like that at the end, so it makes it look really in keeping with the times.
And I think it'd be lovely to say that offline will you don't need online anymore. Offline will cover it all, but it won't. Each of your customers acts in a different way. Even though they're profiled and they're a similar demographic, there will be their own personalities, and some people will work on online. Some people will work on an offline. If you're not doing offline, you're missing those customers. So the point is getting all your channels working and getting this channel working as closely as it can with online. So you're getting a form, or you're getting a catalogue, you're going online, you're getting your offer, you're getting the thing triggered. It's working those things together. But I wouldn't say turn off online, and I wouldn't say turn off offline. You need them all. You need all your channels working. You need programmatic mail as another channel working. You need all your channels working to generate as many leads as you can, working in tandem together. So it's not either or. You need both.
Yeah. From my perspective, in terms of myths that we have to bust about DM, I'm pleased to say there aren't as many nowadays. I don't think it tends to be a really good awareness that it works, and statistically, as we know now, DM is the most trusted form of marketing. The two main ones I get, first one is time taken, which I'm pleased to say nowadays isn't a massive issue. We literally did a campaign this week that, from the point of customer saying I'd like to do a campaign and it landing with customers, took 5 days, which is pretty quick, really. That includes postage. And then the other one's cost, I think, which Rob just sort of touched on there. Truthfully, with offline, I'd never say it's cheap, but you will see the average value order is massively heightened compared to online. You'll also massively find your retention levels are far superior to almost any other marketing avenue. That's why you're using it. So you're not using it to sort of save money compared to online. It won't do that, but you'll generally find your overall ROI will be much, much better in our experience.
Test and measure, get your A/B tests out there. So get your thing, get your piece out there as the best it can be, to the best data, to the best profile data that you can send it to. Make sure your offer is clear and concise. As soon as you've got your results in, start working on how we're going to improve it. A/B test, A/B test, A/B test, and you will always be getting better results.
Yeah, in fairness, as Rob Lance has just sort of summed up, we're after one thing, but there isn't one thing, there's multiple. And so if it's narrowed down to one, I'll be saying work with an agency, work with someone that can help you with all these things. You're never going to be an expert in postage, print, the offers, incentives that are going out at that time, different A/B testing, what's working in the industry, what isn't, data sources, profiling. There's so much involved with it. You're better off speaking to someone who has done it, they're experienced, and you'll get results a lot quicker, because they'll be able to talk you through how you do A/B test. Testing's so critical, but they'll be able to show you how to make that a reality, because it can become very confusing if you're trying to do it from scratch.
Yeah, completely. I just echo what Rob and Phil have said, really. I mean, it's impossible to pick one thing. If I was going to pick a place to start, for me, it would be understanding your data in the best way possible. If we understand your data, we understand who we're sending it to, you can have a much higher propensity of people who are going to buy. And, you know, effectively, you're also going to make sure it's going to the right people rather than sort of wasting money on the overall campaign. So yeah, everything, but data would be where I'd begin.